Okay, people, welcome back to our channel. This is Nelly's TV as usual, and we are going to take us on a journey, another journey. Well, you see, we have always tried to educate people on what Nigeria is and the reality on ground. So we are going to continue with that enlightenment in order to let you really know what you are in for in that contraption called Nigeria. But before we do that, we highly welcome you and ask you, if you've not subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so that you get notifications about any new video we publish, right? You're highly welcome. So today, what are we looking into? We are looking into that very contraption which is called Nigeria, a very useless entity. We're going to look at it because we have severally told you that Nigeria is a crime scene, a very criminal enterprise. Their criminality has no boundary. It ranges from one to another, from one thing, anything you can think of as criminality, it happens in Nigeria, and even more than that. So we are going to show you how corrupt, just a little, because you can't even exhaust the list of corrupt activities going on in Nigeria. We're going to show you just a few. And after then, you ask yourself, which other country do you see things like this happen? All right. So let's start. Now, how many of you remember this? Because people who live in that enclave called Nigeria, they have very short memory. They quickly forget. They don't remember, and that is one very serious, very serious deficiency. Forgetting things about their history so quickly. The white man is better than us in the sense that he keeps record, and that helps him to keep his legacy and culture persisting from generation to generation. But in Africa, and more especially in Nigeria, we have very docile people, very adamant. They forget too quickly. They don't remember. How many of you remember this? CIA reportedly confirms Nigeria's President Tinubu as active asset. The president of a whole country is an asset, an active one for that matter, to Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of United States of America. Just an organization, an intelligence agency, one organization, one agency of the United States. Tinubu is their active asset. The president of a place you call a country is their active asset. What does that speak to you? What does that tell you? Some people will read this thing and they won't even make any meaning out of it. They will just say, and so what about that? You don't know what it means that your president is an asset to an agency of another country. What it means is that anything they want Tinubu to do for them, he will do it. If they tell Tinubu, sell your country to us, he will sell it because he's their asset. Your asset has no right over you. You have right over your asset. Anytime you want to go and harvest part of it, you harvest it. It doesn't have it, just like you have a farm. All right. Your farm is your asset. If you want to go there and harvest some crop, the crop will not say, don't harvest me. You have the right to harvest it as much as you want. If you want to harvest all of them in one day, so be it. That is your asset. So the CIA of United States of America has Tinubu as asset, and anything they want Tinubu to do, he does. So Tinubu is not answerable to you as a citizen of Nigeria, as somebody living in Nigeria. It doesn't matter which region, even if you are from Yoruba. If they tell Tinubu, massacre all the Yoruba people, Tinubu will do it. Because if he doesn't, they have his record. They are holding him somewhere terrible. They have his record. and they will expose the record, and he will be in a very big mess. So that's why he must do everything they ask him to do. The Central Intelligence Agency has reportedly confirmed that Nigeria's sitting president, Bola Tinubu, is regarded as an active asset by US intelligence, sparking a major international espionage scandal. Espionage scandal. Do you know what espionage means? He can reveal the most secret thing about Nigeria to CIA. So you are very vulnerable if you are a Nigerian or you are living in Nigeria. So that is to tell you the type of person that is serving as your what do you call it, as your president in that contraption. He's yeah, I mean, you should just pity yourself, okay? If you think you have a president, you are joking. You don't have any president. And so from there, what do we see today? We are going to see this. Look at this report. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerges as the third most corrupt person in the world. In the whole wide world, Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, is the third most corrupt human being. And the report is coming from Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project. Look at it. OCCRP. Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project. Some people have dismissed this report to say, it's not a very well internationally recognized this thing organization. That's entirely your business. These people conducted a poll, that is, the people voted until they emerged at this report. The most corrupt, according to the poll, is President of Kenya, William Ruto, followed by former President of Indonesia, Joko Widodo. Then the third person, guess who? It is President of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu. Okay, he continues. Former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, and Indian businessman, Gautam Adani. So it's the whole world. So this is not a small organization. If you like, reject it. If you like, dismiss it with the wave of the hand. Tinubu is the third most corrupt human being in the world today. And he is the one ruling the contraption called Nigeria. So do you wonder why nothing is moving there? Let's continue. Just for you to know that you are in a very big mess called a country. A very, very big time mess. Look at this thing happening in a local government in Kano. All right? Look at how they are pushing people. Look at how they are pushing people. Do you know what's going on here? They are giving people 1,000 naira. This is the local government chairman of a local government in Kano, lining up people and giving them 1,000 naira. Now, when you see these politicians make life very difficult, you think they don't know what they are doing. They know. They want to impoverish you so as to weaken you economically, so that in a situation like this, where they want you to do their bidding, they will just come and share 1,000 naira. What can 1,000 naira afford in Nigeria today? There are some loaves of bread you can't even buy for 1,000 naira. That's what they are giving people. And when they give you 1,000 naira like this, they tell you what to do. They tell you one rubbish you should go and do for them. And who is aiding him? It is police. Nigerian police is organizing people for the chairman of a local government to be sharing them 1,000 naira. It is for election. Oh. It is for election. Go and vote for me or go and do this thing for me. Why would a local government chairman be sharing people 1,000 naira? For what? Empower the people, grow the economy, make the business work, and then give them job. But they will not do that. What they will choose to do is to come and give them 1,000. Then tomorrow they will ask you to come and be licking their boot. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how they are pushing people. And big time, look at the adults that are coming to collect 1,000 naira. That is Nigeria for you. Which other country does this kind of rubbish happen? Where else does this kind of thing happen? Oh, Nigeria. See, if you have not started thinking about separating that country, start thinking about it today, because there is no amount of election, voting, campaign, or whatever that's going to change anything. Now, let me show you another height of corruption that is going on in Nigeria, and everybody is helpless. Everybody is helpless. Look at it. Nigeria has spent about $18 billion, dollars, not naira, 18 billion, not million, dollars on the refineries, yet none of the refinery is working. None of them is working. And what are we hearing today? NNPC refineries may never work again, says Dangote. Now, do you know what? The recent development is that they are planning to sell the refineries. They are planning to sell Nigeria's refineries. So if they sell it, who is going to buy? Or if they sell them, who is going to buy them? It is the same politicians. Why have they not been able to repair? Only repair. They have spent so much money on Port Harcourt refinery. After spending it, they will tell you, hey, it's going to work, it's going to work. They kept giving deadline during Buhari's time. Every time they will give deadline. When the deadline comes, it will still not be working. They will tell you, yeah, we are working hard. It will work. It will not work. Today, Nigeria is planning to sell her refineries, and they are going to sell it to the same criminals, criminal businessmen, and criminal politicians. They are the same thing. Okay? The criminal politicians help their criminal businessmen to acquire public property and refurbish them. And the criminal politicians will go and buy shares there and hide their money there. And the criminal businessman will be answering the name. That's what Dangote is doing. Dangote is just the face of Dangote Group. But behind Dangote Group, you have people like Obasanjo. Obasanjo is there. He's a major shareholder. Tinubu is there. He's a major shareholder. Adam Sushomole is there. Rotimi Amechi, that is Shibika Amechi, is there. And several other of these politicians. They are the owners of Dangote Group. But you think it's Dangote alone that owns Dangote Group. Even this refinery he built in Ogun State, these people I mentioned, they have major shares in that refinery. And that is why other refineries owned by Nigeria should die and be sold out, so that that refinery will function and they will continue to make money from it, to get their resources, their earnings from it. So they have to destroy our refinery. Are you getting it? And tomorrow you think that any other politician that comes will do any magic. He will not do anything. He will key into this line because they are the same people. Anybody who is coming up tomorrow has a share, or at least an interest to have a share in this kind of illegal business, illicit business. Okay? Now let's watch.
Dangote has doubted the possibility of the state-owned Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries functioning again, which means that they are dead. In spite of what this government said, all the money spent, all the propaganda, the celebration, the commissioning, the flag off, and everything, the three refineries are dead. And what did Dangote say? And he should know because he has a refinery. Right. He says, Dangote also stated the refineries which are under the management of NNPC had gobbled up to, hold on to your chair, $18 billion.
Did you hear that?
So,
this is how much the refineries have taken just for repairs alone. Repair, renovation, not to build a new one. And what is the state of the refineries? Listen up.
We are saying that we have put $18 billion.
18 billion.
We have put it in a container and thrown it down the ocean. Should the EFCC and whichever authorities now not be looking into where this money is? We are so $18 billion. Do you know what that could do for any country? And I wonder why we never really wanted to let go of these refineries.
The answer is
Keep saying
simple. Those refineries cannot function because they are the major shareholders of Dangote refinery. Obasanjo has more shares in Dangote refinery than Dangote himself. According to reports, Dangote has 4%, only 4% of that refinery you see. Obasanjo has up to 17%. Tinubu in that order also. I don't have all the figures offhand, but Dangote has one of the least shares in that Dangote refinery. That refinery is owned by these criminal politicians, Obasanjo, Tinubu, Amechi, Adams Oshomole. There are many of them, okay, who own that refinery. So the refinery, the national refineries have to quench.
we are doing turnover, we are doing
Or
flash
why
of.
can't we make it work?
No, we can't. I think that is something that you and I know close to about 20 something years ago that the government cannot run any enterprise. That's why these new states that are celebrating the airlines have there, I just look at them and I laugh.
Just give them some time.
I just look at them and I laugh. So everybody is clapping. Oh, our state has a new airline. They pack the plane, people go. And I look and just like government cannot do business in this country.
Okay. So do you now see, for those of you who are dreaming that, hey, well, somehow Tinubu will make the economy to function properly, the refinery is going to start functioning and all that, you are just dreaming, okay? Just for your information. Now, let me show you this other one. This one is also very, very staggering. This is in the National Assembly. The National Assembly, that very corrupt enterprise called National Assembly. This woman is the clerk of the National Assembly and she has a lot to expose. Listen to her. Let me just, okay.
I was
So listen.
livid. I almost didn't come. First of all, on my way, my car developed a problem. I had to go branch into Elizade and drop it. Just at this junction, for my driver to turn, we knocked down an Okada person. So I had to do hospital. Okada has scattered and everything before coming in here. And why am I mad? I am mad because we talk, we don't do. I am mad because nobody listens. Our legislators are not here. We are talking to ourselves. Now we don't have the power to do nothing of all the things we talk about. We are talking about oversight. How do you account for the fact that the flight ticket to go and oversight somebody was paid for that person by the agency? What are you coming to write?
Did you hear that? They are going to investigate somebody, and the flight ticket to go and investigate the person was paid by the person they are going to investigate. Is it not a huge joke? Oh God have mercy. You are going to investigate a criminal, and the criminal pays your transport to come and investigate him. What are you going to investigate?
You go there, they tell you what to write, they
Of
give
course.
you money, they quarter you, they give you flight, and the members will come and fight over the money that they gave to them. They will not give the clerk. They will not give the committee assistance that they take with. But it's not even the fact that they didn't give the clerk. Now you are compelled to write a report of what you did not see, what did not happen, and you lie. Me as a Catholic, I will just go for confession first. Then
Okay, so this man is saying they just went there, did what they did, the charade they did there, and came back, and then they are forcing this woman to just write what they say, just write what we tell you to write. And the woman is saying, why should I just write what the person told you to write for him? I have to write what I know. Okay? I'm not going to write what I didn't see.
secondly, financing a public hearing. We did a public hearing last year, and then the committee called me to tell me that a consultant was employed to write a report. And then I asked the consultant, were you at the public hearing? He said no. So what do you want to write? I, Ifoma, we give you material to write the report. I said no, it's not going to happen. I will not work with you. I put my feet down and I told him I'm not going to work with you.
So somebody comes to write a report of something he did not participate in. And this is a consultant. He wasn't there in the public hearing, but he's just coming to write. What are you writing? And this woman asked her, were you in the sitting, the public hearing? He said, no. So what are you writing? She was in the public hearing and she followed the proceedings from point to point, and she wants to write the report, and they said, no, don't write. Allow the consultant to write it, because the consultant will simply do their bidding and write rubbish in favor of whoever they want to protect. That is Nigeria for you.
And I sat down because they are looking at us as if we do not have capacity. Me, I'm just 2 steps out of National Assembly for retirement. So right now, my mother says she's not dancing so that people will give her money. It's so that they will see me. So I will say what I want to say. I sat down and I did a proper report of that public hearing, and I took it to the chairman. I said, this is the report. And they were looking at me like, you mean it? I said, yes. Oh, no, you have to change. I said, no, this is what happened. If you
So they were trying to tell this woman, no, change this, change that, change this, change this. She said, no, I'm not changing anything. This thing I wrote was what happened. You take it like that. That is the National Assembly of Nigeria. National Assembly, which comprises Senate and House of Representatives, the highest law-making bodies in the land. Look at what they are doing, telling her to doctor some kind of to doctor the report of the public hearing, and the woman refused.
you want to change it, you now go ahead and change it. But the original report is in my system. I don't use secretaries. I type my report myself. So if they want to change it, they should go ahead and change it. I am waiting. Then we are talking about punishing MDAs. They will come on TV and they will say this airing MDA did this. All the atrocities that have been committed in the National Assembly, who punished them?
Okay, did you hear that? MDAs are ministries, departments, and agencies of government. The ministry, departments, and agencies. They say, "Oh, this ministry did that, this agency did that, this department did that." Ever since they've been telling us that NNPC has not been remitting a dime to federal treasury. What have they done to NNPC? Nothing. They will just go back. The NNPC group managing director will give them 1 or 2, and they will put into their pocket and gloss over it. The next time when you raise up the matter, they will tell you, no, 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 don't go there. That is Nigeria for you. Corruption sin. That is a den of corruption.
We don't follow the budget process the way it is. They will budget money for instance, staff budget, money for training, money for clinic, money for sports, money for books, money. They collapse it. It is in the National Assembly I say hearing about collapse.
Collapse.
What is collapse? Sir, both of you know what collapse is. Collapse. The money now, allowances that are budgeted for National Assembly staff is collapsed.
Collapsed. That is Niger for you, okay? And you are there dreaming that somehow, all these things will. Do you know how deep this corruption has eaten into the fabrics of Nigeria? Who is going to change it? Who is going to repair it? People, there comes a time in a people's life that a system is just, is just dismantled and everybody starts afresh, because otherwise, the more you continue to think of just managing the system, the more the system deteriorates and people will begin to fall victim of things they are innocent of. So you don't manage a system like that. You don't. We have managed Nigeria for more than 60 years, and it is simply getting worse and worse. It is deteriorating more and more. And people are saying, hey, let's continue. Things will get better. How? According to the law of statistics, if something improves tomorrow and the next day it improves again, And you can say that with at this trend, it will continue to improve. And in a time to come, say 1 year or so, it would have improved to this level. But in statistics, if something deteriorates tomorrow and the next day it deteriorates even worse, I mean, there is no possibility that it will get better. The only way out is to dismantle the system and start afresh, because what it means is that the foundation of that thing you are doing is completely faulty. And you cannot build any house or any structure on a faulty foundation. Nigeria is built on a faulty foundation, very criminal, corrupt foundation. And that is why corruption is eating it has eaten very, very deep. What this woman is saying here is just the tip of the iceberg. If other people come and show and tell you what they are experiencing in their own sectors, you will marvel. And tomorrow, obidiots will come out and tell us that Obi will correct the system. Obi, I hear you. Let Obi go there. You will see something you've never seen before. Because if he tries to do good, the evil elements behind the scene will bring out their claws against him and devour him. What happened to Jonathan? Why did Jonathan leave office? Do you think he wanted to leave? Do you think that Buhari won him in that election? It is the evil criminals, the evil elements that rule Nigeria that threw Jonathan out of office. That's how corrupt Nigeria is. The only solution is dismantle the system so that those people who are using Nigeria to enrich themselves will not have any place to lay their hands anymore. So when people go to their separate regions and form their country and become sovereign countries, sovereign nations of their own, answer their own names and run their government, they run the system that suits them best. You sit down there and you tell me, let's continue to maintain it and see maybe tomorrow things will get better. Get better where? In this kind of society? If you see something that will get better, won't you know? I mean, people have to know, understand the trend of things. Statistics shows that if something is deteriorating for 65 years now or thereabouts, and you tell me it will get better, how? Now, how many of us remember what happened in Abuja? This man, you see him, he's one of the criminals in Nigerian politics. Wike. He's the minister of Federal Capital Territory. His own is to acquire everything to himself and his family. So look at, just in police arrest, AGIS official falsely accused of leaking Wike's land robbery as paranoia sets in for FCT minister. You know, Wike, it was alleged, acquired and gave to his son how many hectares of land? I think, was it 40 hectares? I can't remember how many hectares of land again. Can we see? Let me see if we can see the number of hectares of land so I don't give wrong figure here. But it was estimated that if you convert the hectares to what do you call it? Yeah, look at it. At least 3,822 hectares, potentially worth $6.45 billion, have been allocated by Mr. Wike to his two sons, Jordan, who is just 25 years, and Joaquin, which is just 23. Over the past year, the Gazette reported on June 26 and July 1 using land administration documents directly from the minister's office. Can you imagine that? 3,822 hectares. If you convert it to plots, it is about 40,000 plots of land. 40,000 plots of land for these two small boys, 25 and 23. That is a country you call a country, right? It is a contraption. But what happened? Instead of them to probe Wike for this gross corruption, what did they do? Police arrested the person they suspected leaked the document. Police arrested the person. So now you are telling me that Obi, when Obi becomes a president, everything will turn around and Nigeria will become a heaven. Do you know what's going to happen to him? So if police will arrest somebody who acts as a whistleblower, revealing this high level of fraud and corrupt practice, what do you think will happen to the president if he tries to, to change the status quo and make things work better? Don't you know that there are criminal politicians who have ruled and left office, who have connections with international communities, and if a sitting president in Nigeria tries to do good, such that they envisage that they are going to lose grip of the stealing they have been doing from the economy, they will report to the international community and they will just raise up some kind of allegation against the sitting president and throw him out of office. This was exactly what happened to Jonathan. And the person who orchestrated that of Jonathan was Obama of United States. It was Obama that actually threw Jonathan out of office, if you people don't know. We are here to tell you the truth. And the earlier you agree with us, the better for you. Jonathan later confessed. He later told, granted an interview and told the whole world that it was Obama that mounted pressure on him to leave the office. And Obama sponsored Buhari's campaign. And Obama forced Buhari into office on Nigerians. If you don't know it today. And Obi cannot be greater than US or Britain. They will bring him to his knees. This is what happens. So this one is happening at a low level, all right? If you report a criminality or fraud case, police will get you arrested. Now, if a president tries to do the right thing, international community like Europe and America will throw him out of office. They will mess his name. They will raise propaganda. You saw the propaganda that they raised against Jonathan, that he was massacring northern people, people of Borno State and all the rest. That he was massacring innocent people. That was the propaganda against Jonathan. But eventually, was it true? It wasn't. But America carried it. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, and the rest of them, they tarnished Jonathan's image and threw him out of office. It was after he left office that people began to know that all those things were propaganda. Even up to today, some people don't believe. They think Jonathan was actually guilty of all those propaganda. That is what happens in Nigeria. You are in a very big mess in Nigeria. And the only solution is to unbundle that enterprise. It is a criminal enterprise of Europe and America. It has to be unbundled, break it into pieces, let people go, so that the people who have been making Nigeria and benefiting from it will not have any place to lay their hands on it again. Because if you go, for instance, if we go as Biafrans, we'll be running our country as Biafra. All right? If they want to have anything to do with us, we negotiate on fresh terms. That is it. Because the terms upon which they operate in Nigeria are corrupt. So stop thinking that election will change anything. And the matter didn't end there. After arresting this guy and detaining him for some days, he came out, and the next thing was this. Look at it. Whistleblower who exposed Wike's alleged multi-thousand hectare land allotment to his own son in FCT slammed with FCDA query after 8 days in detention. Look at the young man. They detained him for 8 days, and when he came out, the that is Federal Capital Development Authority, queried him. This young man works in the Geographic Information Service of the Federal Capital Territory. Okay, so these are the people who have information about the geography of the territory and how, when land is allotted, they know. So look at the query. They queried him, and what did they say he committed? Unauthorized disclosure of official information. Can you imagine? Breach of the oath of secrecy. Oath of secrecy. So if somebody is committing such a height of evil like this, you should keep it secret, and everything should just slide, right? That is Nigeria for you. And conduct unbecoming of a public officer. Look at this. This is the Nigeria, the place you call it Nigeria. It is a country, right? Where else does this type of thing happen? In fact, other countries would compensate this guy. They will give him some credit, give him promotion, and pay him for blowing this whistle. Because this is public property that this one man alone is acquiring for himself and his children. That is stealing, high-level stealing for that matter. Now, as if that was not enough, look at the development today. Still by the same Wike. All right? Still by the same Wike. Look at it. Leaked documents expose Wike's multi-billion land allocations to 90-year-old father, siblings, cousins, nephews, cronies in Abuja. Look at it. So it didn't even end with his sons. He went ahead to allocate to his father, a 90-year-old man, his siblings, that is brothers and sisters, cousins, nephews, cronies. You know, cronies like friends and fellow political criminals. So Wike is just literally sharing Abuja to himself, his family, and his fellow criminals. Niger. So continue hoping, those of you want Nigerians, continue hoping that somehow things will get better. Look at it. In a shocking revelation, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, has been accused of allocating prime Abuja lands to his family members and friends. According to documents cited by People's Gazette, Wike signed 33 approvals for land allocations to his family and friends, including his 90-year-old father, Joshua Lemanya Wike, who received a plot of land in Guzape 2, worth 400 million naira. I will not continue reading. But just imagine, one person is acquiring all these things in Abuja. That is Nigeria for you. Okay? A criminal enterprise, a very corrupt enclave, which people are defending. If politicians come out to defend Nigeria, you think they are defending it in your own interest. You don't know that as an ordinary person, they are just trying to defend Nigeria so that the stealing they are committing, the looting, the fraud they are committing will continue because it's helping them. They are acquiring more wealth at your own expense, at your detriment. But you, as an ordinary person, you will come out and begin to support them. You don't know that they are just chatting, let Nigeria continue. Yeah, Nigeria should continue, just because they want their looting to continue. But you that are not benefiting anything, you join them to say, yeah, don't destroy our country, let it continue. You are brainless. You need to be taken to a psychiatric hospital. Look at what somebody wrote here. These are the people I'm talking about. See, if the law empowers Nyesom Wike to allocate land to Nigerians and it is established that his family and friends are Nigerians, I see nothing wrong here if due process was followed in the allocation. You see how people reason. Very low in reasoning. One person would acquire this massive parcel of land to himself, and you say there is nothing wrong with it. Yeah, you are really garbaging this thing out of your brain. Then your brain has nothing to offer. You are a very, very brainless human being. You see, this is what we are talking about. People who don't reason. There is nothing wrong with that. So if everybody who has ruled in Abuja has been acquiring this amount of land, how much will remain for other people? Nonsense. Now let us go to Rivers State. All of us know what happened in Rivers State, where Bola Tinubu said he declared state of emergency. But Shetima had a different, or rather has a different view from that. He cleverly opposed Tinubu in this presentation. Vice President Kashim Shettima recounts how former Attorney General Mohammed Adoke stopped Goodluck Jonathan from removing him as Borno governor. All right. So Shettima said here that when he was the governor of Borno State, Jonathan almost removed him on the basis of state of emergency, but he was stopped and told that he had no such powers. But right now, Tinubu did it to Sim Fubara, the governor of Rivers State. And listen to
In the
Shettima.
last 4 years of the Jonathan administration, I was the most demonized person. I was the public enemy number one. And there are two gentlemen seated here. Certain decisions are taken in a very rare peace cycle. The president, the vice president, the Senate president, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. At one of such conclaves, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan GCFR, with whom we have shared the sword and have now recalibrated our relationship, was mooting the idea of removing this Borno governor.
So he was the governor of Borno State, okay, and Jonathan was thinking of removing him. That time there was a very serious crisis in Borno State, and Jonathan wanted to use state of emergency to remove him. Listen.
And Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, the then Speaker of the House of Representatives, had the courage to tell the President that, Your Excellency, you don't have the power to remove an elected councillor. The President was still not convinced. He mooted the idea at the Federal Executive Council. I admire Mr. Mohammed Bello Adoke fundamentally for his courage and for his convictions and for his capacity to stand for what he believes in. He told the then president that, Mr. President, you do not have the power to remove a sitting governor, not even a councillor.
Okay, so that's enough for the this thing for us. Okay, so why did Shetima say this in a public function? It is to tell you that he disagrees with Tinubu in what he did in Rivers State. Not that he's a saint, oh, but it's just, you know what these politicians do. If something does not favor their ideology or they are not going to benefit anything from it, you see them coming out to the public to talk like this and kick against it and sound like a saint. But that aside, now, it is just to tell us that Bola Tinubu went out on his way following a corrupt plan between him and Wike to throw Sim Fubara out of office. And after throwing Fubara out of office, what did they do? They brought this retired naval officer to become the sole administrator of Rivers State, and the man started acting in the capacity of the governor. And within this period, it's not up to 6 months. This man has gulped how much? 24 billion naira CCTV, CCTV camera project. That was what the man embarked on. How Major General Okoy Ibogete is spending Rivers State funds. A non-elected administrator approves 24 billion naira for CCTV in one state building. One state building in one building, 24 billion naira has gone into it. CCTV. Oh God. Ah, oh my goodness. Now listen to what the analysis this lady made.
24 billion for CCTV. That is over $15 million allocated for CCTV installation in River State Government House. Just cameras, not roads, not hospitals, not schools. CCTV. And guess what? This budget was approved without an elected governor or lawmakers in place under sole administrator. We are
Yeah.
not living in a country anymore. We are surviving inside a perfect structured robbery.
Good.
This man, a former Navy chief, is spending 24 billion on CCTV, 30 billion on gunboats, and
30 billion naira on gunboats. Gunboats. What is he doing with gunboats? CCTV. Now you know what made me somehow like what this lady said is that they are no longer living in a country. Of course, you should know that you are not living in a country. All right, you are living in a well-organized robbery enclave. Okay, now gunboats
23
and
billion in contingency reserves.
23 billion in constituency reserves. Oh God. Somebody who has not spent up to 6 months in the office. Oh my goodness.
That's over 77 billion in just 3 items.
Good. 77 billion naira in just 3 items. And this is not an elected governor. People, we are not going to continue, okay? But just to let you know the place you call a country. The place you call a country. It is not a country. I don't know how many times you are going to say it before people begin to wake up. This lady here saying this thing, if you tell him, okay, now since you have said that we are not living in a country, that we are living in a well-organized robbery, let us move that this country be separated so we go and form our own country. She will tell you, no, let's leave it. Let's see, let's do another election and remove these people and bring another people. There is no amount of removing and bringing of people into office that is going to change anything because it is from the foundation. The foundation is corrupt. It was corrupted by Britain. The very first election that held in Nigeria was rigged by Britain in favor of the North, of Fulani, and the team favored Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. All right? They confessed it. Those who did it later confessed that they rigged the election and rigged Zik out. I am not saying that if Zik had been the president or the prime minister, he would have done any better, because Nigeria is still being ruled by Britain, and only what Britain wants happens. A country cannot be ruled by another country and the country will be doing well for his citizens. It doesn't work. A country cannot do well for its citizens. It is only when you are independent that you will do well for your citizens. That is why a country like Burkina Faso today is doing well. Okay? So let us learn that. So I just wanted to point it to us so we know exactly what is going on in the so-called contraption called Nigeria. So if you like, use your head. Thank you very much and have a nice day, and bye for now.